What do people think is healthy but really isn't? Hashtag low fat 100% fat free. Haha. Where I live, the supermarket has pre-sliced garlic that is labeled as fat free and gluten free. No shit, it's garlic. Absolutely anything Gwyneth Paltrow likes. Vitamin water, it's stacked with ridiculous levels of sugar and no vitamins. I love that in the lawsuit against them for just this reason, their argument was something along the lines of, no reasonable person would think vitamin water is a health beverage, sure. Diet Water Zero Light. It has only 60 calories. I'll take a child size please. 512 ounces, right? It's roughly the size of a small child if the child was liquefied. Fat-free food. Yeah, to make up for the loss of fat they pump it full of sugars. Besides that, your body needs fats. Fats aren't some evil, bad, chunky boys, our body relies on them. As long as you don't receive too much of it and it's mostly unsaturated fats, you're good. Plus, a lot of tastiness is stored in the fat. Thighs, breasts. Edit, talking about chicken here lol. Obviously not true for duck. Hell yeah, pan-seared duck breast all day baby. Gluten-free food is for people allergic to gluten. It's not some dieting trick. As someone with a gluten allergy, I am grateful for ignorance on this topic. Gluten-free foods used to be hard to find, but thanks to its popularity, now most major grocery stores I go to have entire sections for gluten-free products. Yeah, but now you also get groups incorrectly labeling in order to cash in. Remember a while back when Papa John had gluten-free pizza crusts? That they prepped on the same counters as the other dough, along with wheat flour to keep it from sticking? Lot of celiacs got sick from it because the dough itself might have been gluten-free, but the end product was not. I worked at Domino's when they came out with a gluten-free crust. We were supposed to make sure we warned any customers that ordered it that it wasn't for someone with celiac disease. There was also a warning on the box, but I'm sure not everyone made the disclaimer, or were even aware of it. Yeah, which means they were just cashing in on a fad, which made them part of the problem. I know at least if you try to order it from the app it will always display a warning that it's not prepared in its own area and you have to click I understand to proceed. So at least you're aware when it comes to app ordering. Shielding their children from every conceivable horror in the real world until they're 18 and naive as duck. Straight up let your kids get scraped knees and watch an R-rated movie every once in a while. This was my wife. Parents shielded her from everything. Needless to say, she went a lot crazy when she got to college. Granola bars. The one I was eating daily had the nutritional value of a Snickers. Granola bars were always meant to be a portable, non-perishable and high-energy snack which is automatically going to have carbs, sugar. Reminds me of the breakfast cookie shit people make and then they somehow decide it is healthy because it's not bacon or chocolate. I don't even understand popularity at it. On the topic of advertising, very few brands actually advertise as health food. They advertise to active people, and I think the effect of seeing healthy people in the advertisements is part of what gives that false sense of nutritional value. Smoothies from smoothie shops, they use sorbets, ice creams, and juices with an insane amount of sugar in them. My sister worked at a smoothie shop and people would always come in after going to the gym. It's not what most people think it is. Vaginal washes on a daily basis so it smells like lavender instead of what vaginas are supposed to smell like. It's unnecessary and changes your pH down there and predisposes you to infections. Vagisil is terrible. I got a yeast infection from using it. Years ago when my doctor found out my mom and I were using it, he recommended that we stop and only use unscented bar soap, but even then you don't need to go to town with it as long as you're clean. The stupid cleanses, your body naturally gets rid of toxins and stuff. You just need to drink water. If you need to clean anything, it's your liver. Give it 6 weeks without alcohol or drugs, it'll thank you for it. That's hard. Can I just have a yucky tea once? Seriously, folk? Silver over a joke about being too alcoholic to save my liver. Not that I'm complaining since usually Reddit hates me. The reason all the quick cleansing stuff is so popular is because people will try anything that's easier than a lifestyle change. Usually, A lifestyle change is needed for these changes to take effect, much less remain in effect. Let's take, for example, a weight loss pill. Now, if you want to lose, say, 50 pounds from your current weight, the best way to do it is to eat less and exercise more. This takes significant time, exercise, and effort, reducing what you eat, as well as eating healthy, which are two different things. If someone walked up to you and said, hey, how about instead of waking up an hour earlier and caring about what you eat, you take this pill twice a day for $25 a week, and you'll lose the same amount of weight. The offer would be tempting, even if the pill almost certainly does nothing. The worst part is, sometimes the pill does something short-term, but not long-term. So, you think you're doing the right thing, then you feel like you messed up when the weight comes back. Such is life. If you want to change, you have to make one, and it's never as simple as take a pill. Unless it's a red pill. Then, you can wake up. The food pyramid that was popularized by the USDA is a terrible idea. A lot of people today have realized this, but many older folks still see it as the Bible of good eating. And they are very fat. The fact that it's pyramid not triangle means to reach two secret sides. The forbidden fruit and Dippin' Dots for sure. Mother's milk, and high fructose corn syrup. Getting into a relationship to save help fix men someone. A lesson that people hopefully learn young. TV and movies show some messed up relationships that seem normal when you are inexperienced at dating. I see the Buffy and Angel relationship very differently as an adult compared to as a teen. Edit, the age gap is a big one, but he also turned evil after they had sex, and then stalked and psychologically tortured her. Try telling someone young and in love that the person is bad news. They won't listen, but after the breakup, they would hopefully learn how to spot an asshole or cheater. Could you give me a TL, doctor? I haven't watched this show and I am not planning on starting. Not the person you asked, but there's a huge age and experiential difference between Buffy and Angel, teenager versus immortal vampire, who was conceived in the 1700s, which in and of itself is yucky. Edit, my bigger problem is not so much the literal age gap as it is that Buffy is a teenager while Angel is decidedly an adult. I think if everyone is over 25, age gaps are a consideration but not all that creepy. Beyond that, the premise behind Angel's character is that he's good because he was subject to a gypsy curse which returned his soul to him. This was as a punishment so he would feel guilty and tormented by the atrocities he performed whilst not having a soul. During season 2, his soul is stripped away again, and he makes it his mission to psychologically and physically torture Buffy. In some respects it's not his fault and he does get better, but it's still hard to imagine re-establishing trust after something like that. And even without that period, their relationship is just very emotionally fraught and unhealthy and angsty. Their relationship is romanticized like most vampiric tales, but by any other standard it's a pretty creepy and inappropriate pairing. At least the show is somewhat upfront about how bad an idea that relationship is. I mean, it's presented with melodramatic romance tropes, but it's also shown as a cause of great pain and suffering. I mean, it's supposed to be a metaphor for spousal abuse, right? They sleep together and he immediately turns into an abusive, manipulative literal monster. I'm pretty sure they never really get back together after that. After he turns evil he goes to hell, gets his soul back, and then gets his own spin-off. I believe Whedon said it was meant to be, you sleep with a guy and he turns into a shit because he got what he wanted. I also bought into the tortured soul thing in the beginning but after the fact looked at it as he was only good because he had a soul, versus Spike who wanted to be good without one, not that he was a shining BF example either. Those stupid juicing detox programs, your body's liver and kidneys naturally detox your body so long as you drink plenty of water. This whole notion that you are detoxing your body with juice is asinine. There's something about sitting on the toilet for the whole weekend that's really appealing to some people though. Hell, have a hard night of whiskey and stouts and you'll clean everything out on the toilet the next day. Whiskey shits are the best cleanse. Dedicating your entire life to your work without an outlet separate of it. Same goes with overbearing relationships, you will begin to resent whatever you enjoy if it's the sole reason for your existence. 100%. I work in a corporate office setting and it's sad how many of my peers think working 10 to 12-hour days is something to brag about. First off, the company doesn't care about me enough to warrant working that many hours. Second, we're not out here saving lives so it benefits nobody except the higher-ups. I do my 8 hours and bounce the duck out. You ain't catching me working that many hours just to get a few brownie points here and there.